Enjoy life. Yes, enjoy life with Miller High Life as the Miller Brewing Company brings you the special film presentation.
The climb to the top. The Denver Broncos, 1967. Narrated by Bob Martin and produced by the Denver Broncos Public Relations Department. Filmed by Western Cine. In initiating his first season as general manager and head coach of the Denver Broncos, Lou Saban had one goal in mind: the proper formula for the climb to the top. First, said Lou, we need the right climate to begin the climb, meaning a sound organization operating from adequate facilities. Carefully, Lou selected his staff. He moved to new offices. He constructed new practice facilities. Then it was time for football and the common draft. Three-time Syracuse All-America Floyd Little headed the Broncos selection list, and time would prove that the Broncos picked wisely throughout the draft. With the youngsters acquired in the draft, veteran returnees and trade acquisitions, Saban and his aides eagerly anticipated the 1967 season. They worked long hours. They would produce a winner for Denver. But how quickly? Was it possible for the Denver Broncos to make an immediate about-face, to become competitive in 1967? During the preseason, all went well, a major understatement. The Broncos hosted the Detroit Lions in the first AFL-NFL preseason game. Tackle Dave Costa jars the Detroit quarterback. Younger players indicate that while lacking experience, they will give 100%. Rookie linebacker Chip Myrtle drops the ball carrier. Offensively, Fleet Al Denson is moved to an outside receiving position. Against Detroit, Denson shows he can go deep and catch the football. When a 35-yard Bronco field goal attempt splits the uprights, Denver goes ahead of the NFL Lions. The score is 3-0 and becomes 13-7. Denver becomes the first AFL team to defeat the NFL. In the following game, the Minnesota Vikings received the same happy brand of Rocky Mountain hospitality. Steve Tenzie makes his Bronco debut and fires deep to sophomore Eric Crabtree. Floyd Little also makes his first Denver appearance a successful one, sweeping right for the first Bronco score. Later, it was Tenzie to Crabtree again as the Broncos added 40 yards en route to their second touchdown. With the score 14-9 and time running out, some wondered if Denver had been playing in the wrong league for the past 7 years. Time in the upcoming regular season would tell. In early September, with a full house at Bears Stadium and a national TV audience looking on, it started for real with the Boston Patriots. It started well. Tenzie rolls right and fires 12 yards to Denson for the game's first score. Denver's army of loyal fans approved. The Broncos make mistakes, but they intercept passes, recover fumbles, hustle, and gang tackle. Tenzie and Denson lead the way. Steve passes long, and Denson's speed nets a 55-yard touchdown. And nets a fan an expensive souvenir. The season opener proves one thing for certain. Lou Saban's decision to use the size and speed of Al Denson at a flanker position is an extremely wise one. With Denver ahead 26-21 and time running out, Boston's Babe Parilli has a final chance. And Nehemiah Wilson provides the answer. The Broncos were a winner, but Oakland was next. And Lou Saban was far from certain that he had a winning nucleus. And at Oakland, the bubble burst. There were major breakdowns offensively and defensively. Saban's worst fears were realized. The Raiders won 51-0. We asked Lou about it.
Basically, we found out against Oakland that the veterans we had counted on just were not doing the job. We had hoped that perhaps 15 of the veterans would carry the load. Against Oakland, we felt that we looked pretty bad, and consequently, we just had to start from scratch. We have a starting point now, and from here on, it's just a case of a lot of work.
So, with 12 games to play, the job was to start anew, to work with young people and a few veterans, to make 1967 a year of transition rather than a year of waste, to find the men who would take the Denver Broncos up the ladder. In rebuilding with flanker Al Denson, you rebuild with a man of talent. Denson is 6'3", 210, and will battle. Denson is noted as one of the fastest men in the AFL. Equally as important, he can double as a part-time thief. With his great ability to go deep, Denson becomes a constant threat to catch the long bomb. Against Kansas City, Denson proves that just a little bit extra can mean a touchdown in pro football. As the season progresses, Denson learns to catch short as well as long. At the close, some call him the AFL's best outside receiver. Either way, Denson caught 11 touchdown passes. No one in the AFL caught more. Al Denson will be a star in pro football for many years. Eric Crabtree says he is not big enough or fast enough. He could be wrong. He gets the job done. Against New York, he's fast enough to get behind the secondary and go all the way. Against Buffalo, the 5'11", 185-pound split end comes up with a difficult catch. And when Eric goes short on a sideline pattern, the play can wind up as a long gainer, like 68 yards, and a touchdown. To Crabtree, catching isn't all important. Running counts too. With 46 catches, Eric ties Al Denson for the team lead. You build with an Eric Crabtree. In the case of Floyd Little, it's just a matter of time. He must learn the pro running style. Blocking, he must cut his man to the ground. Against Buffalo, Floyd shows why he was a #1 draft choice and why he will be a great pro runner. Something Little didn't have to learn was kickoff and punt returning. as the 195-pound rookie told us.
Well, I prefer up the middle on kickoffs, punts, and everything else because I think you have an option of going left and right depending on the flow of the traffic coming down in pursuit. And it's better to return up the middle because if you can get through the major part of the traffic, you have a 90% chance of going all the way. And it can get difficult when you're returning punts and kickoffs for the pro ranks because when you get hit by one of these big boys, you hit to stay.
Little ranked number 1 in the AFL in punt returning and number 3 in kickoff returning. He was the only man in the AFL to return a punt for a touchdown in 1967. You build with a Floyd Little. Tight end Tom Beer gets his pro indoctrination catching his first pass. A proficient blocker, the 230-pound rookie learns the roots of a pro receiver. He learns the pros like a tight end who can run with the football. That when the chips are down, you must make the difficult catch. Up front, George Gedicke, number 67, pulls on a sweep and gets his man. As a pass protector, George takes his man to the turf as Tenzie gets time to hit a receiver, Neil Sweeney. Center Larry Kaminsky, number 59, opens a hole against the New York Jets. Then Larry gets the linebacker as the Broncos go in for a game-clinching touchdown. Left tackle Tom Chakowski, number 78, opens a gap as Denver gets a touchdown against the Buffalo Bills. At right tackle against Kansas City, Tom overpowers his man as the Broncos get good yardage. And when the blocking is perfect, Steve Tenzie has time. He connects with Neil Sweeney. The perfect play parallels the perfect trip, the kind that the Denver Broncos fly with United Airlines. The Broncos and nearly all professional football teams fly the friendly skies of United each season. Bronco board chairman Jerry Phipps and his wife Janet relax en route to a winning Denver effort at Buffalo. Going and coming, the Bronco party is always sure of fine service, a smiling stewardess, and excellent food. Bronco general manager and head coach Lou Saban discusses the upcoming game. The Bronco flight on United descends into Buffalo on time, and the Broncos are set for a winning effort. In building a football team, most coaches agree that a starting point is a solid defense. Lou Saban is no exception to the rule. Dave Costa, number 63, is a 265-pound defensive tackle who enjoys chasing quarterbacks. You can build with a Dave Costa. Costa knows you must be alert. He is, and he recovers fumbles in the clutch. Against the ground game, he drops the ball carrier for a key loss. And does it again. Denver's Costa is one of the best in the AFL. Defensive end Rich Jackson, number 87, occasionally gets 2 for the price of 1. Emerson Boozer finds that it's difficult to run with a 255-pound Jackson and Costa as baggage. Buffalo's Jack Kemp forgets to look left and finds Jackson and Costa aboard. It's a safety. A double team fails to dislodge Jackson, and San Diego's Brad Hubbard must go elsewhere. Rookie lineman Pete Duranko, number 55, comes on as the season progresses, stopping Hoyle Granger. Durango joins linebacker Frank Richter in smothering Oakland's Hewitt Dixon. Against Kansas City, the 250-pound Durango straightens up Mike Garrett and separates Garrett from the football. As Kansas City tries to punt, Pete races in to block the ball, allowing Lou Andrus to recover for Denver. Rookie safety man Jack Lentz flashes top form as the Jets' Joe Namath attempts a screen pass. Lentz safety blitz means no gain for Oakland's Dixon. Against San Diego, Jack's end zone interception ends a Charger touchdown bid. Another rookie, middle linebacker John Heward, number 57, spells trouble for Buffalo's Jack Kemp. Heward joins Lentz in ushering Oakland's Dixon out of bounds. Against Houston, Heward's slashing one-on-one tackle forces an Oiler fumble. San Diego's Dickie Post also gets the straight-on Heward treatment. As Miami's Bob Greasy fires, Denver's Nehemiah Wilson proves that a little can go a long way. Wilson, the smallest Bronco at 165 pounds, snares a Johnny Hadle pass and puts 6 points on the board for Denver. At Buffalo, Wilson turns Fancy Dan Runner on a missed field goal attempt. Watch his fine moves. In the Kansas City finale, Nehemiah makes a fine interception and sets sail 70 yards for the Chiefs' goal line on the longest interception return in Bronco history. Returning to the offense, Lou Saban feels that no team is any better than its quarterback. We asked Lou about Steve Tenzi.
Steve was actually a rookie as far as experience is concerned. He played very little in San Diego and had to start right from the beginning with us. Steve has the necessary ingredients. He has a fine arm, and of course he has the range. Steve got better in 1967 because the team got better. Our success will depend a great deal upon the improvement of Steve Tenzi.
As Steve Tenzi acquired experience, he learned a number of things about quarterbacking, like run for your life. He found that Al Denson has a knack of getting open behind the opponent's secondary. Steve Tenzi learned to roll out away from the blitzers and to find the back out of the backfield. Sometimes he had time to pump twice before hitting the receiver. Eric Crabtree in the end zone. Able to go long at the outset of the season, he was effective going short as the season wore on. With the range to throw 76 yards for a touchdown to Eric Crabtree, Steve Tenzi kept opponent secondaries on guard throughout the 1967 campaign. As October became November, hard work began to pay off for Lou Saban and his staff. The Tenseys and Densons and Littles and Costas and Crabtrees and others began to put it all together. The Broncos won 2 of their final 4 games. At the close of the season, they were competitive. At San Diego, Denver put together a near-flawless 65-yard touchdown drive. Steve Tensey rolls right and connects with Crabtree. Halfback Floyd Little nets 5 yards up the middle. Fullback Bo Hickey also pounds the center of the Chargers line, getting 7 yards. Little maneuvers well as he moves 10 yards for another Bronco first down. Denver continues to kick out up front as Hickey smashes for 7 more. It's Little's turn again, this time to the left side. He gains 5. Workhorse Little picks his way and moves the ball inside the San Diego 10-yard line. With a ground game well established, Tensey rolls left and fires 9 yards to Denson for the score. Watch center Larry Kaminsky, number 59, as we look back over the final 5 plays of the drive and pick out the blocking that made the Bronco attack gel. Right tackle Tom Chakowski, number 78, blocks down to open the hole for Bo Hickey. At the top of the screen, Tom Beer, number 85, and Sam Brunelli, number 64, overpower their men as Floyd Little hits for good yardage. George Gedeke, number 67, to the left of center, straightens up his blocking opponent, and Little cuts behind the block for 4 yards. And Hickey, number 31, holds up a Charger linebacker, giving Tensey time to complete the drive by tossing to the flying Denson in the corner of the end zone. At San Diego, some of the pieces fit, but the Chargers were the winner. At New York, with a stout defense leading the way, the Broncos did find the winning path. After a scoreless first period, Denver begins to harass Joe Namath. Jack Luntz spears a Namath pass and returns the ball 25 yards. Denver gets on the board with a 43-yard Bob Humphreys field goal. Moments later, Namath goes upstairs again. Lentz is again the culprit. Watch this fine 47-yard return. Hickey follows Little in for the touchdown. And comes out happy. The defense again holds, and Little adds a second Bronco touchdown on this brilliant 72-yard punt return. After the kickoff, another interception gives the Broncos another chance to score. They do, as Denson makes a fine catch of a Tensey pass. The Broncos go ahead 23-0. Namath is still throwing, and Denver is still catching. John Heward intercepts. Bob Humphrey's 47-yard field goal makes the Denver margin 26-0. The most explosive quarter in Bronco history nets a 33-24 win. In Denver's other late-season triumph, a win over the Buffalo Bills, the offense and the defense complement each other. Denver scores twice within 36 seconds just before the half. In the early going, Tenzi fires deep to Al Denson for a 51-yard gain. Al would have liked more. Floyd Little sweeps left and fights his way 13 yards on the former Syracuse Star's finest scrimmage run of the season. Denver leads 7-0. In the second period, Denver plays alley-oop with a Jack Kemp pass. And Frank Richter winds up with the ball inside the Bills' 15. Tenzi shows plenty of poise and finds Denson alone in the end zone, 14 yards away. On the kickoff, the alley-oop play gets an encore. Denver recovers on the Buffalo 28. Time is running out. It's beat the clock, and Denson makes a diving catch on the 16. Tom Beer is Tenzi's target. Denver drives to the 2-yard line with seconds remaining. It's down and out for Denson as the Broncos complete the drive with just 11 seconds remaining. 21 points proves to be enough as the Broncos outlast the Bills 21-20. In 1967, the Denver Broncos were not a winner, but it was an important season, a season of transition, a season of trying to put the pieces together. By the end of 1967, Denver was competitive. We asked Lou Saban about the future.
We know we're going to be better in 1968 because of the things we've learned from our personnel in 1967. We had a good draft. We just hope it'll pay off in more victories. As coaches, our goal is to climb to the top. We owe a great deal to our fans here in Colorado. As far as we're concerned, they're the best in the country. With the expanded stadium, everyone who wants to see the Broncos will be able to do so. One thing we know we'll have again in 1968 is great fan support.
To take your personal part in the Denver Broncos 1968 football action, visit the Bear Stadium ticket office or call 433-7466.
This has been a special film presentation by Miller High Life, the national champion of quality.